Yeah, but every single time too. Uh, cool. Yeah, well, welcome back, Off the Clock Show. Joined again with Sean Gervais from OrbisX CRM, as well as Marshall Hill from the Pints and Polishing Podcast. Of course, the Off the Clock Show, you know it, and HyperClean Car Care Products. That's it. And you today, we're working on something pretty special. Is that a secret sauce, or are we allowed to?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's not a topical.
Well, I was pretty interested, but
You should be.
fair.
You got the
All right.
inside scoop.
Fair. Yeah, yeah.
And also, at the same time, yeah, I was watching 3-0 final score. It is confirmed. Arsenal 3-0 against Real Madrid.
Oh,
That was a
shit.
big deal.
Yeah.
Champions League at home.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
big win for Arsenal's my
Yeah,
team.
man. Well, salut. Man. Oh, that's your team? Okay.
That's my team.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Salut. Damn. Your wife, she watches too?
Yeah, she was actually watching my stepson's sick, so he was texting me.
Shit. Okay.
So they were
Sure,
at
'cause
home
your
while
stepson,
he's
he's big into
sick. Yeah.
football too now. Yeah.
Oh no, do what?
He's big into football too, no?
Yeah. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Brazil.
That's what I mean.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're already ready for World Cup, man. Well, that's a lot of the stuff we're watching too. The World
That's
Cup
the whole thing.
qualifiers are going on. It'll be. I think the finish is in Miami,
Oh,
but
shit.
we're
No way.
hoping to either get to Kansas City or there's Dallas, wherever Brazil's going to play. I mean, we got to go, right?
You
So
gotta go. Yeah. That's
gotta
it. Obviously. Yeah. You're basically Brazilian at this point, you know? I wonder
I'm
how it
gringo.
works.
I'm
Yeah,
gringo.
yeah.
No, I'm gringo.
You get the right amount of sun, you can pull it off.
No,
You're like, no.
my hips don't move like that, Sean.
Fair. Yeah. Nobody's hips move like that. It's true. I know. My wife's always telling me, she's like, "We gotta go to carnival. We gotta go to carnival." I'm like, "Yeah, I'd be down, you know." And but my wife, she's a professional dancer. Like she danced in a troupe and everything. Like they traveled. And don't get me wrong, I got some moves on the dance floor, but
I
I'm
like
not like, yeah. Like I got my nice two step going. I got some things, but damn, I was like, yeah, no problem. But the reason I can't bring my wife to Brazil, I'm a nice guy. I've got some humor. I've got some money. I've got some things. But everyone there is just so pretty. Like if you think you're pretty back home, you go there, you are garbage. Like you are dog shit.
You're not.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. You're so right. People asked, "What did I think?" And that was what I like. If you're, let's just say, you say your wife, or let's say you think you're an 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 5,
Easily. Yeah, exactly.
and probably a generous 5.
Yeah. It's more
You
like
you can learn that just by walking through the airport, and you go, "What the
It's
world's
true.
going on here?" You get to the
Yeah.
beach, and
Yeah.
listen. If females want to go for it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's
matter.
all about the body, and it's male or female. Just go watch YouTube videos. As we were prepping for trips, I do beach watch videos where,
Nice.
listen, those
See where
guys
you're
are
going.
fucking weird.
Yeah.
Those dudes, can you imagine the weird dudes walking around and recording people on the beach? But
Yeah. That's
millions
crazy.
of people watch them, so I guess they have a reason. I was one of those millions, and you just there's everything's open from the shunga. I guess is the male. What's that? That little thing that the males wear. I think it's called a shunga. That real tight little
what it's
thong
called.
thing.
That's
Also
what's
to
called.
the
Oh, shit.
female thongs, the bikinis. There ain't much there, right?
Yeah.
From
There's
either
no.
the males or the females. They don't wear much.
It's true. Yeah.
I've still yet to put mine on.
Oh no. Oh shit.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Tried. She kept trying to buy me one. I was like, I'm not putting one of those on. No way.
Yeah. One day she'll wear you down. Yeah. You're like,
Maybe on her birthday.
maybe on her birthday. But then what does she have to wear on your birthday? That's the other thing. Yeah.
Much.
Not much. Yeah. The less the better, right? That's the. I love it. Absolutely. That's all I ever want for my birthday. It's just simple man.
What's the dad of a flute player? What's going on there?
So this year, yeah. So my daughter, my eldest, she's turning 16 on the 17th, but technically we're doing a birthday for her on the 12th. She's in the band at school, so they travel and stuff. They're on their way to New York. They're doing a performance there. So she plays the flute as part of a band, and so we got these shirts printed, and the money goes to help out the band and stuff like that. But
That's
so
cool.
dad of a
Did
flute
she
player.
go to band camp?
Yeah, she did. It's funny. I made
Do
that
you
reference
often
to
say
her.
to her, there was this one time at band camp?
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. So she says that. So she says it, and every time I'm like, oh, I just cringe a little, you know. But then, so she hadn't seen the movies,
I
so I
wonder who could
watched
know.
them.
Don't say the movies.
All right, all right.
Who's going to be the first to chime in? Because it's cool. It's cool when
Ah,
people
sure.
post and they're like, hey, listen to the last episode. Here's the answer. But I love this, right? Let's do one of those
Yeah,
giveaways. Who
I
can post
I love it.
the answer to this one time at band camp? What is that movie
Yeah,
quote from in the I'm sorry, in the
OrbisX
OrbisX
group. And
Facebook group?
you know what? Here's what we'll do because I love giveaways, and that's part of what I want to talk about today. Giveaway is going to be this: you get one thing if you name the movie. If you can name the person in the movie who said it, not the real name, but their stage name. If you can name that, we'll give a second thing. So I'll do two prizes. Both will be mystery prizes, but we'll see what go on there. But one of them I'm going to make a value of 250, and the other one just for knowing the movie we'll make a value of 100. That's what we'll do. $350 up for grabs. Maybe it's some hyperclean products. Maybe it's something to do with
Some of that new
OrbisX.
trim cleaner.
There you
Maybe.
go. See?
Not rim
Hey.
cleaner, trim cleaner.
Not rim. Jeez. You know, I was always wondering that because like
It's one time
our,
at band camp, you know.
yeah, yeah, see, exactly. Like our
I had to
industry's kind of
clarify.
fun like that though, where you can. There's a lot of it's not as professional or stuffy as some other industries. So I always wondered that with product naming. You know, there's the obvious like you stick with something that's just like even naming of companies where it's like something super professional, super standard. But you can have a lot of fun with things. Yeah, like there was one because I see a lot of names that come in. Obviously, when people sign up for OrbisX, there was one I saw. It was a tinter, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but it was something like "Show me your tints" or something like that. I fucking died when that came in. No joke. I
I love
added a
that
free
thing.
month. I was
Yeah.
like, "Congratulations to you." I was like, "Fuck." Show me your tints. I was like, yo, so good. That's a cool thing with the names and stuff like that. But yeah,
And there are
so
some chemical companies that have weird names to their chemicals too, right?
yeah,
Like some nuances that they kind of
yeah, yeah,
play
yeah.
into, and you're like, okay,
It's like yeah,
okay,
we'll play. Yeah,
okay,
okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
can do that, you know.
It's it's one of those things. It's not something you can do in every industry, and in this one
Now,
you can do it, but you got to be somewhat delicate with it in a way. But I feel like the more nuanced it is, the better it makes it almost. Like if it was just too blatant, it's kind of.
yeah, I think the problem in our industry from our side is those same people seem to then have these like labels that are all like crazy, trying to be like the beer can labels, which are cool.
Ah,
And you
yeah,
go,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, maybe not on a product label, and then that neon shade with that high scent to it. No wonder it streaked. No wonder it did this. No wonder, and you go,
Yeah,
man, if they could have maybe just spent a little bit more time on the product quality,
yeah. That's
maybe
where you start
less
to
on
notice
the how
sometimes
cool factor.
they invested too heavily in the marketing department and not enough in the R&D. That's what happened. So they were
hmm
like, oh, we
But
gotta.
one of the big dogs, the early dogs, they made such a big stand. We used to record episodes with the guy that was the
Yeah,
uh,
that's true.
the Facebook marvel of that company. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
kind of first influencer as their foam cannon began to evolve in the 2004, 2005, or no, maybe it was
I think around.
2010, maybe not four. That's too early.
I feel like 10. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
more
feel like
like
10
10,
years
11,
ago.
12, I think.
Yeah, my exposure came a little bit later because I wasn't in the country, and then I started Auto World after. So when I really started to get heavy into things, it came later. But that sounds right. 2010.
So yeah, maybe like 2010 to 2014, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember when he left and kind of went out on his own. Then suddenly his family had been making chemicals forever. Remember that
Forever.
story?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just, I'm going to go work, I'm buying the chemicals for my family. They've been making chemicals for
Passed down for generations, right?
generations. But I've been working at this other company for some strange reason.
Mm-hmm.
Why my family made chemicals.
Yeah, they
I'm
made
in.
them. Yeah, I'm in. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, doesn't really matter too much. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, it reminds me of, you know what? We were talking about this earlier. I'll mention it. there's a story that I was reading in the news, and it caused some controversy amongst my own household as well. But it started in the households of my employees, actually. Controversy around a certain brand of vehicle, and it was something where I had to chalk it up to doesn't really matter much. So there's some
That's
stuff going
exactly what I
on.
said because I like the guy. So I went,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, okay, I'm in. And
I'm in.
so similarly, I was reading a news article, and they were talking about the stuff going on with Tesla and stuff. So it's been a topic amongst households and stuff, mine included. And then we had an opportunity to pick up some Cybertrucks, and I was like, oh, interesting, discounted price. Well, hold on, how come the guy's getting rid of them? And he's driving down the road.
What do you mean, how come?
Yeah, yeah. For me, I say how
Sean,
come? Because it's a very particular vehicle, in my opinion. That if someone like the way it looks, and if someone wants one, they usually
all right,
want
so when you said how come,
one.
did you think how come because of the political reasons or how come because it's a Cybertruck and it shouldn't matter of the political reasons, the amount of crap that's going on with Cybertrucks and the
Fair.
political, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're
And the
wondering how come? Like,
I was wondering how come. I
do the
was.
geese fly south in the winter up there? Or do they fly further north? I don't. What is it?
Listen,
What
you know
happens
what?
up there?
I think that they usually go south, but right now they're coming back though. But I think, me personally,
Yeah, remember
I
that
have
bald
mixed
eagle had them
feelings.
trapped down. They're like, "Oh, we got to get out of here!
Gotta get
Oh,
out of here. Yeah, exactly.
back north to the dumb one. I mean, to the other ones."
Oh, ow, shots fired. Damn, that's they're coming back where it's safe, where it's nice, thank you. There's nothing wrong with $12 lettuce. But so the Cybertrucks, I don't know. I have mixed feelings. Part of me wants one, to be honest, and the other part doesn't. So yeah,
Okay,
because
what? Okay, what part of you wants one? What part is that? Your
good
left
question.
ear?
So the part of me that wants one is the radical survivalist in my brain that's like, oh, this thing could power a house for this many days. This thing could this and that. It's bulletproof, whatever. That side of things in me wants one. The guy that wants to go camping. But to be honest, if I'm
In
going
your
camping,
Cybertruck. You want to go camping in your Cybertruck?
not in it, but I'll take it to wherever we're going camping. Like just in the woods. I don't
Hey,
know.
it could get scratched.
You know. Yeah,
Huh? Should be able to go wherever, right? It should be
it's
able
supposed to be.
to get
Yeah,
places that your regular car
yeah.
couldn't.
It's apparently got crazy towing capacity. Which you know. So it's plus the power generation and all that kind of
Dude,
stuff.
you got to get one of those. What are those silver campers? God, what are those called?
Oh my God, what the hell were those called? They look like a
Windstream or
bullet
something?
almost. Windstream. I think it was the Windstream. Yeah, yeah.
Imagine a Cybertruck pulling a big ass Windstream. There you go. There's Sean.
There's me going
Everybody
down
want
the
to know
road.
what to get Sean for his birthday. Get him a picture of a Cybertruck pulling a
Yeah,
Windstream. Be
yeah.
like, Sean, we see you there.
There we go. We
We
see
see
you
you
there. Thanks, man. See encouragement. That's yeah. But yeah. So this
You and
part of me
Matthew
that
McConaughey. Remember he
yeah,
lived out of one? Do you remember that?
yeah. What the hell was? When
So
was that though?
he inside of all those times when he was doing all those like chick flick movies,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
he was doing so many movies and he didn't want to
Halloween
live
type
anywhere, so
days or something.
he just
Yeah,
went around to that and stayed in random like places that those people. He goes in a book. I read his book, Green Light,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
and he talked about all the interesting people that come and knock on the doors.
Jesus, yeah.
Like, could you imagine the people that
Crazy. Yeah.
he said it is what it. He goes, everything you think is there, it's there. Like,
That's crazy. Oh man, and I believe it though. Jesus. Yeah, you know what? Speaking of those kind of things, this wasn't a Windstream per se, but so around that time, one of our clients that I had with my web design and marketing company was Jessica Alba, and we were handling a lot of stuff for her. And I know my wife used to get really upset when she called, but that's all right. The calls were short and they were innocent mostly. So, no, but she had built. So I was in touch with her and her personal trainer, and she had built this. I want to say RV, but there was a bed technically, but it wasn't really an RV. The whole inside was retrofitted to be a fitness gym, just a big, massive fitness gym. And this thing used to just go wherever she went, and so she could work out anytime on set, stuff like that. And she had her trainer with her. But man, I'm telling you, some of those things, it's amazing. You should see. It was nicer than most gyms and houses you would see. Like it was crazy. Like those things are so yeah. So there's an element to me that seeing stuff on the road and stuff. That's I don't know. There's that aspect. The aspect where I wouldn't get one is I really like the fact that like even though my Rover just eats gas, I pull over, 5 minutes later, I'm back on the road doing what I need to do.
All right. So do
Growl,
you think
growl.
environmental being battery?
There's no environmental reason behind this at all, in my opinion. So the whole electric car thing, in my opinion, is worse for the environment because of the process to get it and stuff. Based on some of the research I've done, I'm sure there's counterpoints to that and so on and so forth.
No, let's talk about that.
All right.
My college roommate
Yeah, yeah.
had his grandparents had an oil company. It was a
Okay. Yeah.
great college roommate to have.
Hell yeah. Jesus.
Great college roommate to have.
My God. Yeah.
You want to go to Chili's? Yep. You
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
go there? Yep.
absolutely.
You want to go? Yep.
Man, that's amazing. Jesus.
Then, of course, as he got out of college, went back to the oil fields, did the landman thing, like the show. It's a good show. Then went in and owned his own, and he's done extremely well, like his grandparents, right?
Yeah.
Done very well.
It's
So
a
I
business to be in.
called him. I said, "Hey, man, talk to me about this electric car. What's it do for you and the oil companies, right? Like, are you guys hating this? Because if it goes full tilt, like, does it take away? Like, what happens?" He goes, "Ah, the world's kind of funny, isn't it?" What do you mean? He goes, it takes 220 billion barrels of oil to make one battery. Sean, do you think in your
Crazy.
commute back and forth that in your lifetime
In my lifetime? No. Never. Never.
might possibly scratch
Just the very surface.
100,000
Yeah. Maybe.
barrels, not gallons?
Yeah. Jesus. No. In my
So
lifetime?
one car,
Yeah.
220 with a B.
Jesus. That's craziness. Jesus.
He's loving electric cars.
It's like
Loving them.
Probably more
I said,
than
good, man. I'm glad
personal.
somebody is. Great job.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah. World's funny. It's the best response. Not only that, but there's a lot of byproducts too that they have. So even like Vaseline, for example, and all the anes, like the propane, butane, all that stuff, those are all byproducts as they're refining the petroleum that we get. So it's all, they're going to be just fine. And we won't be able to, because we need all those other products, we won't be able to just stop. I always laugh because I get in this fight quite a bit with people that have an EV and they're big.
Oh,
like,
Sean, hold on. Do those numbers. If electric car pushes further,
Yeah.
we would have a greater chance of running out of all that other stuff.
True.
120
Yeah.
billion barrels.
Craziness. Jesus, man. It's nuts. I don't see how. I'm trying to understand how that's even possible. Like, I just don't. It's madness. But what I do know is that environmentally, that's where people have it confused.
And
My big reason for wanting one as a secondary vehicle is mostly because I like the flexibility of both. I like, for example,
It is
operating
cool,
costs.
too.
Yeah,
Fast.
absolutely. Oh, yeah, no, there's no lag time, nothing. You're just like straight into. Oh man, like that. That I think is pretty cool. Hybrids, I think, are obviously the best option of both, probably.
And if you had the Tesla with the wings, you
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
like,
See?
someone can
Yeah,
hop out
yeah.
of it. I'm in.
And
Self-driving? I'm in.
one thing I like about them too, in my opinion, is they're very like toy oriented. And what I mean by that is like the features that they launch and things like that. Like Tesla, just for no reason, made it so their cars could like dance and sing and stuff. Like they do just stupid fun shit. It's to me, it's not so much I want that car because I want to drive that car. It's more like if you buy an ATV. It's like I want that toy. I want that just to play with. So like for me, I would definitely just still keep my Rover, keep the daily driver, and then yeah.
My only real question to any of them is, what do you do when it's done?
Like how to recycle them.
What are you going to do with that battery? I mean, right? It only has a certain lifetime. And then what do you do with it?
You bury it in Canada. No, basically.
Oh, Canada.
Welcome to the Great White North recycling plant.
Maybe soon Greenland for us, huh? It seemed to be going into the Greenland.
Could be. Yeah, seems like it might go forward, And who knows? That would be a great place to send them. Yeah. Just saying, like you got to put the batteries somewhere. I'm just saying, make it part of the deal. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that's where energy storage is one area. I think that there's going to be a need for a massive push forward, and the person that solves that.
Storage in general, right? Facebook started the
Yeah,
hey, you have 90 days to remove your old live videos. Other people
yeah,
are starting to say, hey, you're going to have to start cutting out this stuff. We thought we could just record things forever.
yeah.
Nope.
And it's like, no, no,
Storage is going to
definitely not.
start running up.
Yep,
I bet you that
100%.
Apple price and all that different stuff of storage is going to start getting more and more.
Oh
Rightfully
yeah,
so, right?
yeah. You
So
name it, and
what in OrbisX, right?
yeah, data storage wise.
What does that look like? How to
Those are good questions. And so for us, we try to do things. We do a mixture. So, for example, we purge some things eventually, like some things that are mundane or not needed. But obviously, like your past invoices, so on and so forth. You can't just get rid of those. Like, what do? You know, you got to keep them. But there is something in the works for. It's a plan, I would say. We haven't had to cross that threshold yet, but we have something in the works for an OrbisX Plus. So there's OrbisX and there's OrbisX Plus, and that'll be more for some advanced features, new features, things that are not necessarily needed by the average detailer, but things for the super shops that want to
okay.
sell.
So let me ask this: inside the HyperClean Specialist Group, a lot of people have been talking about OrbisX. Great conversations there.
Good stuff for sure.
I'll stand by my comment when people ask me why I would choose OrbisX over others, and
Yeah,
as the owner, I don't know about
yeah,
the other features. I don't know about the other shit. I don't know. I
yeah,
interviewed everybody.
yeah, yeah. Fair. Yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. Fair. Salute, man.
Uh, but interesting the comments, right?
Yeah.
Interesting the feedback too.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I've been. It's funny. I never really thought about how to, like, obviously I know the intricacies and the differences between OrbisX and other softwares and so on and so forth. But when it comes to explaining it to somebody, like when they say like, oh, well, why OrbisX versus XYZ company or something, seeing the answers from people of why they've chosen OrbisX over another provider, they're always interesting to me. And some of the best ones I've heard, especially when comparing like us and one of our close competitors, is that someone said, it's a matter of personal preference. Obviously, that's a big thing with any software. But they said it's kind of the difference between Apple and Android, and where it depends on what you want to do. If you want something that
It's a
just kind
great
of
way
like,
of explaining it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I saw that and I was like, man, that makes so much sense because Android, like, well, in terms of OrbisX, it's designed more to be very customizable because every shop is different. And you might have two shops that are seemingly very identical, but they have one or two different things in their operating procedures that if those things could just be tweaked, their business takes off. But if they can't and it's a little more cumbersome, they have more difficulty with that. And a big problem with all the other softwares, which is why OrbisX was created in the first place, was that everything else was, this is the box we've made, and oh, you want to do that? Sorry. Well, you could technically do it if you follow these 15 steps. And you're like, but I just want to do this in one step. And there was no solution in place to do that. And so I realized that we need a software that can accommodate that, so that we could, okay, my business operates like this, so turn this on, turn that off. Now I can just do that quickly and easily. And so that was the premise behind OrbisX initially. So seeing feedback described like that is very encouraging because it's very much in line with what my mission was. And then
And I thought, right, hey, I've only been using these features. Didn't
yeah, yeah,
realize that had all this other stuff, and like
well, so there's
I haven't
different.
even done all that. And then other people are like, oh, you got to do it, right? Like
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
cool part. What's this where you said was it $99 or something? What you listed
Oh,
some so
yeah.
is there different levels now, or what is the one level?
Just want to
Explain that.
ask. Yeah, yeah, that's a great question too, and it's something that comes up a lot because with software, we all use software, and you always know. You sign up and it's like, oh, choose the starter plan, the pro plan, the advanced plan, the enterprise plan. You're like, holy shit, like what's going on here? So I wanted to take away all that with software and just say, look, it's all inclusive. Everything that you're going to need to run your business, one price, one membership fee. This is what you get, and so you get everything included for the $100 a month. So that's basically what it is. And that's everything that even my own shop needs to run. So it's not like there's features held back or something like that. Then we introduce some pay-per-use things, and mainly we have two right now. So we have the one which is email marketing. So if you want to send out emails automatically as a campaign, then you pay per email, and it tells you, you have to use this many credits or whatever. That's very cheap. It's like you can send out a list. The average list or average spend is around $6 to $10 per email blast, which when you think about it, to reach your entire client list or leads list is almost nothing. And that's for the one-time emails. So all the automated ones, those are all included. So if it's, I've got a list of 5,000 customers and I set up automations to follow up with them every 60 days or every 3 months, that's all included for free. It's more, I want to do a promotion for Valentine's Day and I want to create this email campaign and send it out. Those are the ones that you pay for, but we've made it very, very affordable. And then the other thing is the Luna stuff, and that's mostly where things like the storage come into play. We've had to up a lot of computing power for the AI stuff, and so with that, the extra costs, we're just offsetting it, spreading it out across the group, and it costs it's less than 4 cents an hour, so you're paying almost nothing for it. Like, compare that to an employee. Your employee's going to work 1 hour, and you've already paid more than the whole month.
So if somebody has a question and they want to know what else can I set up and do in OrbisX, literally just needs to talk to Luna.
Yeah, 100%.
Luna could walk them through.
Like, what do I do?
Here's what to do next. Here's how to do it. Let me tell you this, and then you go back in and ask you the question. It's a great way of doing it.
You can even give video tutorials too, which is pretty cool. So she can show you step by step in the app, do this, do that, so on and so forth. And I actually use Luna a lot in preparation for a lot of our episodes. I'm like, hey Luna, what are the current stats? What are people using? What are they not using? What are some recommendations I can make for people? She'll spit out a bunch of stuff, and then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Tell me more about this. What do you think? And helps a lot.
So what'd she spit out for today?
So, well, she spit out. It was pretty interesting actually, because I thought she was going to go a different direction, and she didn't, which was kind of cool. But she spit out information about contests, and so I had Luna specifically take a look at demographics within the system that were okay shops that teetered between they're doing great and then maybe they had a slow season and then they were doing great again or things like that, as well as shops that went from just doing okay to doing exceptional numbers in a short period of time. And I said focus on those two groups because it's a little more difficult. A shop that's really well seasoned, they're using all the features in OrbisX and they've got things nailed down, it's more difficult to see big improvements where they implemented this and that caused this big change to happen because they've already got things dialed in. So I said focus on the guys that are, maybe they were doing, somewhat decent numbers last year and now they have a spike. So what did they do different? And so she analyzed a lot of things, and one of the big things that the shops that had the spike compared to those that didn't is they implemented contests. And so that's a feature that OrbisX has that the other CRMs don't. I personally love contests when they're done the right way. A lot of people instantly jump to, I'm going to run a contest. I'm going to give away $50 exterior wash or something like that. And oh my God, my contest flopped. And then they start blaming, the economy or Elon Musk or who. They start going different directions, right? And so we could just take a second and realize that maybe your contest was just shit, and people weren't really interested. You didn't promote the contest as well. So you still have to push it, get it out there, let people know about the contest, so on and so forth. But there's ways you can do that. And talking with Luna, she agrees with me. The way that we do things at our shop is we don't run very many contests just for our services. We do run some, but most of the time what we run are contests for other things, depending on who we want to target. So for us, for example, we break our customers down into different groups. And on that note, by the way, I have a list here that I'll post in the group. I know it might be hard to see, but I'll pull it up. So it's different demographics. I'll read what it is. So we have our market. So for example, golfers, moms, young adults, commuters, pet owners, luxury car owners. The list keeps going. Real estate agents, you get the gist, right?
Does it list like the number one?
So the number one, because it's basing it off of our shop and what's been successful, golfers. That's our number one. And so a little pro tip here is, so something we do at our shop
Like
is...
a golf pro tip? I didn't know you were
Absolutely.
also doing that.
Yeah. I do.
Did you learn that from Luna too?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Absolutely.
Luna. All right.
The pro tip. Speaking of that, I'm a little salty actually. So Home Depot, we're renovating a new property now, and I was talking to a lady, and she's like, "You really should sign up for a pro account." And I was like, "Why is that?" And she's like, "Well, because you have an account with us, but it's not a pro account." I said, "Well, yeah, I'm not a contractor." She says, "You're not a contractor?" I said, "No, I'm not a contractor." She says, "Looking at your account, you spent $176,000 at Home Depot in the last 12 months." I was like, "What the fuck? What have I been buying?" And then I took a look at it and I was like, "Oh yeah, shit. We had a piece of land and we bought a bunch of shit that had to go there. Then we bought another property, had a bunch of shit there. We completely renovated the house I'm in now. And then we bought a new place." And I was like, "Jesus." So I was like, "Well, what were the savings there?" And she's like, "Are you kidding me?"
20%.
She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "And the points too?" She said you would have been killing it. So anyway, so I'm signed up now, which is good. So, and it cost me $60. I just had to register to have a contractor business, just work on my own properties. It doesn't matter. But anyway, so so the more you know, right? But so anyone out there, if you're renovating your shop, sign up for a pro account first if you plan on shopping at Home Depot. The pro tip on the pro tip.
We just also launched a pro account type program too.
I love it.
Yep.
Details? What do we got
While
here?
others are now having to continue to increase shipping, we're now going to be trying to give it away.
I love it. Beautiful.
So you get 20% off and free shipping on anything that is chemicals, right? We still
Yeah.
we don't make microfiber towels. And we can see all the funny jokes now that's flying around about tariffs and microfiber towels. Like, here we go, right? Like, so that stuff we don't make, but any of the chemicals, any of the coatings, any of that stuff, 20% off. You just spend $1,000, you get free
love it.
shipping and 20% off.
Yeah.
Pro
That's
20 at
beautiful.
checkout.
Nice. Pro 20 at checkout. Man, that's amazing. See, another pro tip. That was like a triple pro tip that we just gave there. That was like 3 pro tips. But, a
Can
fourth
they
one.
use Pro 20 if they go through the OrbisX app? I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. There's a spot for discount code. Yeah, so you guys can check out within the OrbisX app. You can actually shop. Just click on your dashboard. You're going to see a big HyperClean logo right there. Click that. It'll open up the shop. You're going to see all the chemicals. It starts on the page that has all the featured products. And then you can filter down different products if you're looking for something specific. Enter in on checkout. Once you add all the stuff to cart, of course. Enter in Pro
20.
Pro 20. There we go. Thank you. Pro 20 and check out and enjoy that 20% savings. No, Corona. I don't know. Home Depot. 20% savings and free shipping?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Both?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to re-record because I think Marshall's gone crazy here. Both. Holy shit. Okay, that's amazing. Guys, you'll add that shit to cart today. I'm going to add some too, so hopefully I qualify. If not, you're going to see an order in there from Paul West. Please process it. But perfect. Man, that's amazing. So guys, once again, just click on the dashboard. You're going to see big HyperClean right there. Boom. And also, don't forget to check out Pints of Polishing Podcast. Speaking of pro tips and microfibers, you guys had a really good tip there. That's something I've been preaching for years as well. And people don't really seem to understand the life cycle of microfibers. And so you guys had a really good talk. You were talking with Nick there, and you were talking about the different color towels. And I've seen it before. Detailers just grab any towel, and they go and start working on some carpet. And I'm like, yeah, that might be fine for the 98 Tercel that you're working on. But you work on some other vehicles that have light-colored carpets, and you attack that with one of those what used to be red and is now pink towels. Well, the reason that color changes is because there's a dye in there. And so if you use that on the wrong vehicle, you're opening up yourself to some problems. And as you guys mentioned on your podcast episode, which was a great episode, by the way, the white towels, that's what you got to use there. And you're right, you guys, you're not going to use those on the exterior when you're prepping for PPF or something like that. But definitely as they go through the life cycle, use those ones on your interior to your carpets.
Yeah, Nick is the white towel guy. I'm the... your towels at the finished stages, put it in the, I've heard people do that, and I know so many people do it, so I just encourage it because I go,
For sure.
I know there's a lot of people do that, but that's what I love about black towels. That's why I've had black towels for a long, long time. Dark towels, anything dark, I've used on the nasty stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I just always kept those separate. You always wash them separate. You keep them separate. You use them for nasty
100%.
things. You got light colored towels that you use for the lighter stuff, and then you always keep your glass towels or your, your finishing type stuff always different too. So
It's true.
that's just the
Yeah.
way I've always done them. Now, do they
Yeah.
all get thrown in a giant bin? Absolutely. Because I'm not the guy that folds each one of them and puts them separately away. That ain't me. That ain't me. We all have our things, right? We all have our things.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, you know what we did? We have some washer dryer setups. So we have four of them. So we have two washer, two dryers in our shop. And what we do is we stacked one washer on top of the other, and then we stack one dryer on top of the other. Boom, life is good. And what we do is we got recycling bins. And we just go and we wash, we dry, and then we just put the bin inside the dryer. You rotate it, and now it fills the bin, and then you're done. We don't fold them. We don't any of that. Nah. We're not in the business, like we're not reselling the towels. It doesn't matter what they look like. They just need to be accessible and clean. That's the only thing that matters. We're a high efficiency, high volume shop. So that's what we do. So that's another pro tip there. Jumping back into the contest stuff, yeah, it was it was really interesting though to see how much people haven't capitalized on that. It's such a great tool that's built in there. It's free, and as we mentioned with the tier stuff, it's not like you have to pay extra. It's just included in there. You can run a contest. So how we do things is we know we want soccer moms, for example. That's a huge demographic for us, and we also want people that have certain. I don't even want to say they have luxury vehicles because that's the wrong word. It's people that more care about their appearance. I would say that's more our target market versus I don't care if the guy has a Lambo. If the guy's a Lambo but doesn't give a shit what it looks like necessarily, like maybe he cleans it himself or whatever, I don't care. I care more. I'm not here for the gram. I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm here to make money. I care more about the guy that he could be driving a Nissan Altima, but he cares what it looks like. He cares that it's detailed. That's another one of our demographics. And so we target those guys. Where we find those guys hang out is probably where you would also think that the guy driving the Lambo hangs out, the golf course. And so we target people that go to the golf course. How do we do that? We buy golf course memberships. I don't personally golf. We keep 5 of them on hand. Some of them are reserved for in case shit happens. We have to smooth something over with a customer. Boom. Here, your golf season's taken care of. That's one thing. It'd have to be a pretty serious situation, but time to time, fires happen. You got to put them out. The other thing we can do is just buy, a round of golf, things like that. You can give those away as well. But what we typically do is we run a contest every year, and we run some for soccer moms, and we run, a bunch of demographics, but the key ones we focus, soccer moms, we focus realtors as well. Realtors, a perfect one for us, coffee cards. Those guys are always on the road. They don't have time to make coffee, stuff like that. Get yourself a $200 Starbucks card, something like that. Good place they can go meet clients, so on and so forth. We've also run some for realtors as well, targeting them as well. We do this with Facebook ads, so on and so forth. We drive traffic that way. They end up on a landing page. Boom, there they can enter the contest.
So what about instead of $200?
Yeah,
What if I know five's not enough, 10 because you can't buy coffee for $5.
true. And
So
yeah, no
$10,
coffee's fine.
and then you know that each time this customer's going to purchase from you, maybe you just put a thing and you go, all realtors get, if they buy this package and you just have it as a realtor package,
Boom, they get that included
they
in.
automatically get it included.
Yeah.
Instead of the $200 big whopper,
Yeah.
what would it really look like long term if you just kept dropping in $10 coffee cards?
Huge.
And I
Huge.
bet you could, I don't know about Starbucks, but I bet you could find a local coffee shop. There's a lot
I
of
would recommend finding a local one.
there's a lot of them that have started these much smaller, in and out, they're chains, but they're much smaller chains.
Yeah.
They have a much smaller footprint. They usually don't go in the sides of a retail. They normally go in these like standalone places. I'm trying to think of some of the names we have. Dutch Bros is one. Now that's kind of a bigger chain, but that idea, and you'll see we got one Scooters. There's another couple that tried to that are like smaller. You can just keep just keep narrowing down is my point. Like I don't know if Starbucks is really going to work with you too much, but if you could pair up with some local, and maybe if you meet the right person, and you go, listen, I'm going to commit Here would be an interesting part of using OrbisX. These people will know this word, they're going to know it, and they will appreciate it if you use it. If you go, hey, listen, I can give you a year's worth of POs.
Yeah.
Corporate lingo, PO, purchase order. OrbisX could do a purchase order, no problem. They're going to know that lingo. You go, if I give you a year's worth of POs, can we get a business to business type arrangement here? Absolutely, they're going to say that.
Yeah, when we didn't have a waiting room, we did that with the company across the street from us, coffee shop as well. And we went to them. We said, "Listen, we don't have a waiting room. We're gonna be sending people over there to wait. So we want to make sure they have somewhere that's warm, somewhere inside, somewhere that they have access to the internet, and at the same time they could get a free coffee." And we said, "So we're gonna pre-purchase a bunch of coffee from you on credit in a way, and then you settle up with us at the end of the month." So it was the same thing. We sent them a purchase order that we're committing to make this purchase. So we're going to buy X amount of coffees. And so they said, no problem. They usually charge $5 a coffee. They told us $2.50 each. So we got them for half price basically. But it was a lot cheaper than us building the waiting room right away because we were already launched and taking in customers. So we needed something ASAP while we were, get established and then build a waiting room, so on and so forth. So it was a way to solve that problem. But we built a great relationship with them. They would often have customers come in. They would recommend us. People would bring their car over, and then vice versa. It worked out really well. Unfortunately, the pandemic took them out. But, things happen. It's beyond anyone's control to a degree. Partnerships are a great way to go. And
they are. They are. I want Dejan to hear this because
I know. I had.
He always thought. He says he's going to do the golf course stuff. He's going to do this one. This is an easy one. This is a layup. This is a layup.
Yeah, he's on it. When he hears something, he's like, "That's it," and he boom runs with it. And then he sees the results. And he's like, "Fuck yeah!" Tunes in next week. He's like, "What else you got for me?" He's ready, chomping at the bit. I love it. I love seeing that initiative. That's what fires me up to do this every week too. It's it's that kind of thing. The partnerships are great though. That's where we get a lot of gifts in a way. They're gifts, but we do a co-promotion kind of thing. So we work with someone. We say we're going to run a contest. We're going to share the leads with you, people that submit to enter to win. And through entering to win through OrbisX, they'll have to enter their name, email, phone, of course, but also their vehicle. So then we know now when we call that list, we know what kind of vehicle they have, and so we'll do a promotion with them. So for the golf course, we give away a year membership, but a lot of golf courses gift us a year membership because it gets them a lot of exposure as well. So there's ways you can definitely partner with local places to do stuff like that.
Sure. Here's the other flip side, flip of the coin. I want everybody to hear this loud and clear. You're saying the word partnership.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, wonderful word.
Yeah.
Inside of a partnership, if somebody started that partnership by going, "Hey, can I get a deal?" Ain't a great way to start the partnership.
That's not a good partnership. No. You lost me.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Don't go, "Hey, I'm gonna buy some gift cards. Can I get a deal?" I want to come back. I didn't say, "Can I get a deal?" I said, if I have a year's worth of POs, is there a business arrangement that we can come to?
That's a good one. Yeah.
That allows them the opportunity to respond however they want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's opening.
If somebody comes to spend money at your business, and do you necessarily want to give them a deal?
No, you should.
You might. I don't know.
That should be the last.
I'm not going to answer that for people. You might want to. You might. Don't expect them that they have to. It's not the way to start a partnership.
Yeah, no.
They might want to. They might not.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. Wait till you have some purchasing power where you've shown hey, we're bringing.
There you go. There you go. You just start it with a business to business. You just listen, and then you're right. You can lean on them later.
Exactly.
Same
as in the beginning, you're just coming with promises. It's just oh yeah, we're gonna bring you this, bring you that, and the worst part about that is you almost burn that bridge if you don't hit those milestones, right? So if you say let's work together, I'm gonna bring you a ton of customers.
You can't say that.
Yeah. If it doesn't work out, they look at you like.
Well, everybody else has said that. Don't be put in the same pile as everybody else.
It's true.
That's why I use the word PO. They'll know that word, right? That's a word that
they're gonna.
If you weren't in business, you wouldn't know that word. People that are asking for deals, they're self-employed or they're not in business, right? They're side gigging and they're trying to hustle their way, grinding.
Yeah, grinding, yeah, making it to the top.
Give me a deal. I'm grinding out here.
Jesus. Yeah, so on that note, we're hopefully going to get this deal that we're working on right now. So we're trying to target soccer moms as well. I keep saying soccer moms, but really it's just families. We want family vehicles as well because they get dirty fast. That's known fact. More people in the vehicle, people that may not care about where they put their juice box or their crayons. You know what I mean? So that's
Great
a big
customer.
part of it. Yeah, perfect customers, honestly, and they're what we found is they're more likely to sign up for our maintenance plans as well. They've got busy lives. Hubby's busy cutting the grass, doing this, doing that. He doesn't have time at the end of all that to, oh shit, and I have to wash the van. So he just leaves the van alone. So we found that they're good customers for us, and a good way to get families is places where families go. The obvious one is, of course, restaurants and this and that. But what we found is better is playdate stuff. So we're targeting. There's these things here. We have one here called Fun Haven, for example. Those zones where there's like the jungle gyms and all that shit, and the kids go and they play the arcades and whatever. Parents are usually there for quite some time. Kids leave.
Great place for a mobile detailer setup, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so we're approaching them because it's expensive too for a lot of families now to go there. They've upped their prices quite a bit, and now a visit. My kids just went there. I think it was with the arcades and everything. I think it was like $175, and they were there for 3 hours. And they have like a little arcade thing in there, and so there's a lot of families that are looking at that and they're like, Jesus, $175 to go here. It's a lot. There's a lot of the families struggling, so we realized, you know what? Let's find a way to target that market still, make their life a little bit easier. We've got a deal in the works, but we didn't ask them for a deal or anything. And how we've gotten to the point where I'm meeting 3 now of solidifying numbers and stuff. How we got there though was just transparency. I told them in the beginning, we haven't done this with any other like fun place or whatever you want to call them, jungle gym thing. It's new, so I can't tell you what the results are going to be. I can show you the results of what we've done with golf courses. I can show you the results of what we've done when we've given away, coffee cards, things like that with realtors. But this is very much uncharted territory for both of us, right? So that full transparency just opens the conversation. We're not asking for a discount on what the cards are going to be or anything like that. The only thing we're asking of them really is that if they have a certain promotion or something going on, that we get to take advantage of that too. But that's normal stuff. So we said, look, like at the time that we purchase, if it's X price, if it's a discount, we want that price.
All right, let's lay something out. Let's lay something out. I know it's what you've been doing, but let's Luna this in a sense.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Let's try and think of some creative ways that some people are listening can hear what you're saying. I think mobile detail, right? I think mobile detail. You got to be a mobile detailer for this.
All right.
I don't know. I just
for this one or for
for soccer for soccer mom for going to the jungle gym for like there's what's called ultimate jump or jump something. I mean there's a couple of these. Every town has one, right?
Yeah.
It's a big box that went out of business, and then these jungle places come in. It's true. That's what happens.
That's exactly how it happens, though. Yeah, they set up to this, that, and the kids run in and play.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's wonderful.
Because one of the ones we're working on right now, it's a trampoline park, and that's literally
trampoline park. Yeah, same idea.
Business, and
but it's always something went out of business, so they go in and they just set up. It's like
perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, all right, let's play this out because once you start, so it's like, man, I love this. I'm going to go, the number one part of it I love is the convenience factor. I had a lot of good progression out of my mobile business from a company called Ultimate Electronics. This was 2003. 2003, Ultimate Electronics predated Best Buy and was a better Best Buy because it was more of the high-end electronics.
Okay.
This was where you would go in if you somebody that wanted that big amplifier, had the receiver, you had the big, the big tower speakers. You were one of the first people to set up the surround sounds and you were somebody that had some money that wanted to spend on your home entertainment.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Great. right? Great. This
Yeah.
person is affluent and they're going to this box store. So set up a tent and I wash people's cars for $25, wash and vac.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
You got to wash and we vac your car for $25. You went in and you shopped and you came back out.
Boom. You left, and it's cleaning up. Yeah, just all day long. Oh,
So that's
God.
why I like this idea, right? I've got a centralized location. I got captive audience. These people are here for a certain amount of time. This is not, and I get it. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying you should in 2025 do it for $25. In 2003,
Doing it for 25 bucks. Yeah. Even now, depending on where someone's at in their business, the volume, like we're talking about a wash and vac.
you
know
got to
what I
go
mean?
quick. It's not
Yeah.
this is what we just did there. You talked about our episodes. We just did an episode on, I really want people to challenge the idea of, do you want to be called a detailer? Detailer's so different. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of things you got to do. You got to, there's some people that say you got to get certified.
Yeah.
You got to wear a patch. You got to put some shit on your wall, or else you are not a detailer. Do you want to go that far?
So crazy.
Or are you okay with being somebody that likes to just clean cars? Like,
Yeah.
you, however, clean the car in a very thorough, detailed way.
Yeah. Listen, my shop, we have
That's me.
over 1,400 five-star reviews. Full disclosure, neither myself, my business partners, or any of our staff have any certifications. Just saying. And we do more
And
than
in the
7
certification,
figures
I
a
don't want
year.
people to get hung up on that. I
Sure.
really don't, because we've got hung up on that in the past, myself included. It's really about car care versus detailer. Could you go to a location and be a mobile detailer, a mobile car wash, a mobile car care company, whatever you want to call yourself, and clean somebody's car in 30 minutes, charge a fair rate, and you can turn around and do another one? Maybe you have another team member there and that turns to 15 minutes. Then suddenly you can flip through another car, and within an hour you got 4 cars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Boom.
And what I would do is find a
Then
way
you got
to
your realtors, you're leaving the 5.
process it.
And then you
Yeah.
got this and you got
And
that.
then-
And I go, oh shit, man, maybe I got to get back in the game. This is fun.
Yeah.
No, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it.
I feel you though. But I think there's some very, very good points there. And me, what I would do is try and figure out, okay, so $25, let's say that's nuts. Okay. How could you do that vehicle for $25? What would make it worth it? Because that's literally all
Okay, it's
the
nuts.
customers
Call it
expect.
35. Call it 39.
No, but here's the thing.
You can't go through a car wash nowadays that you're not spending $15.
Absolutely.
So-
I just did one 2 days ago. I just had my car detailed at my shop, drove out, a bird shit right on top of it. I was so mad, you have no idea. But I'm like, to drive back to my shop is 20 minutes. I was like, I got to park it in my garage. I just didn't want to. So I ran through the car wash. I don't care. Whatever. $21.74. That's what it cost me to go through the car wash. And yeah, I could have done just the basic one. It would have taken care of the bird shit. For some reason, I have this thing when I go through the car, just give me the ultimate. That's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I went through $21.74. But let's assume for a second that $25. Let's stick with that number for a second, because I think it's important that for the person that's looking at it saying that number's crazy, what I want people to do is get in the mindset of, if you're going to set up something like this where it's like boom, 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 I'm going to target these people at this place, I'm going to do it once a week, twice a week, whatever, and I'm just high volume, going to try and get stuff, and I'm going to use those leads to funnel for my full detail packages at my shop later, or a maintenance plan. So this is kind of your introductory to it for that customer. What could you do within $25? What would make it worth it for you to break even, let's just say? And then all you have to do is just now charge 50 for it. Charge 40 for it. That's it. That's all. It's just a framework thing.
And it might be too much at 50.
And it might be.
I don't know.
And
Maybe you
gotta
don't have
just
enough
test it out.
traffic.
Yeah.
Here's the other part is you got to figure out what the people will spend.
100%. Because if they're already going, I'm going here, I'm going to be spending $175 for my kids to go play. Now add on another 50.
And you better not be a cash person. You better not be a do
No,
this
no, no.
square thing and have people do this. Don't do that. You better have that moment as fast as possible, like we talked about
Yeah,
earlier. Friction. That better be
100%.
as quick as you can. Oh, you want it done? Here, press here. Nope, nope.
Yeah,
Done.
exactly.
See ya.
Boom, it's
Thank you.
done. Exactly, 100%. And that's where what I would do in this situation is I wouldn't even don't even waste time necessarily putting it into OrbisX and all that kind of stuff because it's they're trying to go inside, have their kids play and stuff like that. When they come pick up their vehicle, that's when now it's time to collect some info from them. Be like, I can send you a receipt for this as well, blah blah, blah whatever. Get their info, and then you follow up and be like, hey, I know we did that express wash for you before. I just wanted to take a second and introduce our other services. Now you hit them with something from OrbisX where it's a full email, has a
That's even
video
better.
that goes, shows
You
the
came here,
products
you
that they're
just got a
using.
wash, but look at all these other services we have for you. Wow, that's a
Exactly.
great idea.
See?
That's a great
Start
idea.
to finish, that's how I would do it,
Hmm.
100%. And it's
Yeah,
it's like
love
it's
it.
kind of like what we do with the dealerships. So dealerships that drop off cars, we don't even bother put them in OrbisX because they don't care about Carfax, they don't care about any of this shit. We put it in there in terms of an invoice because they need an invoice. We want the records, stuff like that. We don't make an appointment for it. They just drop it off. We're not trying to send them appointment reminders, this and that. Half the time they drop off 4 vehicles and it's not even the 4 that they told us they were dropping off. That's how dealerships work. But what we offer them is every car that they sell, their customer gets a post sale free clean. Free clean doesn't say free detail. They come in and no problem. We know this thing was test drove a few times, so on and so forth. We just do the wash and vac. That's what we do. But we take that time to talk to the customer now. So it's just that investment. It's the same thing. You go, you run a contest, you do something with the local, like trampoline park or whatever it happens to be, or you go and you're on site, you're detailing there, start that partnership with them. Now you're gaining leads, but these are leads that you're actually having face-to-face conversations with. It's a lot different than posting on Facebook and posting on Instagram and so on and so forth. Having that opportunity to talk with the customer has value. And so if you have to do a wash and vac for $25, fuck, do it all day long. Jesus, like you should be able to bang out 4 in an hour. That's $100 an hour to collect solid hot leads. That's perfect. Or you can stay at home. You could pay money to Facebook instead, cross your fingers, and hope that you're going to get some hot leads. So, which would you rather choose? Get paid for your time while you're there talking to leads, or shell money out hoping that you're going to get some leads? It just makes sense. And so I think people need to go back to basics in a way and understand the buying psychology. And that's where contests really tie into that well because you're getting a lot of this information from the customer, their name, their email, their phone, the vehicle, and you also know something that they're interested in, so you know what kind of customer they probably are based on what contest they entered, so on and so forth. And then when you do those things like the pop-up details, like that's perfect example of that. Like even though we have a shop, we don't do mobile, going somewhere where the customer is and then encouraging them to come into our shop weekly basis, monthly basis, whatever the case is, that's got a ton of value for us, and they don't care that we're not mobile. Most of our customers, they're like, no, I don't mind dropping my car off or going to run some errands. I'll go to the grocery store across the street and then come pick my car up when it's done. But it's just us being there, present where they are. That's
I'm
the key.
glad you said that being there because I think people are going to go, I did it the first week, I did it the second week.
No,
Might
no,
take you 3 months, my guy.
no. Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
growing a business here. You're trying to
Yeah,
grassroots market. We're giving you all kinds of incredible things to do. You got to show up every Saturday. Doesn't matter the games that's on. Trust me,
it's true.
I
Got to.
remember.
Yeah,
Doesn't
exactly.
matter what else is going on. You got to go
Hmm.
because that one customer might be the one
It's
that you
true.
didn't know if you didn't ever go.
100%.
I mean, there's something about always showing up. People go, well, listen, there's a reason why it's called an impulse buy. So if you're not there, you can't collect the impulse.
Yeah,
You can't.
that's true. That's true. And that's where, and showing up on that note is showing up everywhere. So it means that if someone, you put all
I'm
this
going to
money.
disagree with you.
Ooh, okay.
I don't want to show up everywhere. I
Well,
want to
what I'm doing
show
is
up at
hitting the
specific
places.
places that the
No, no,
people
no.
that I specifically are targeting because I've
Yes.
spent my time and I want to stay there. I don't want to show up everywhere.
No, no, 100%. But that's where, let me clarify. So when I say show up everywhere, you go somewhere specific, right? But then you got to put their information into OrbisX, and now you have to show up everywhere. You got to email them. You got to text message them. You got to call them. You have to literally be everywhere that they will be looking or expecting.
Well, I don't want to be that person doing that. I want OrbisX to do that because
That's
that's
why
too
I was
much
gonna
for
say,
me. I
it is
need to
too
be
much
the
for you.
guy out there at the tent.
Exactly. But that's why OrbisX handles that for you, which, as a final thought, is the reason why you should sign up for the AI chatbot that we've launched, because it's $25 a month. It's less than 4 cents an hour. But with it, you can add live chat to your website that knows about your business and answers all those questions 24/7 for you. That's great. But as promised, version 2 is launching now, and Luna will be able to chat with your customer on text message when you're not available. So if you sent the message back first, Luna says, okay, I'll stand down. But then if another message comes in and you're busy doing a detail or finishing up a coding and a message comes in, she'll wait 10 minutes. But if you haven't replied back in 10 minutes, she'll jump in and answer the customer's question. So that's another key piece that you're going to have there, so you don't have to take on all these extra tasks. But keep in mind that when you go do something like do the pop-up tent and you're there, you're on site, you're doing this, you're doing that, it's important to add on those extra features into your OrbisX system so you can harness the true power of Luna, and have her handle that business for you. Because reality is, the customer's not going to wait. That's one thing I know for sure. And that's where a big thing, a lot of people tell me, as you mentioned, the reason people choose OrbisX, the founder. People message me all the time, they're like, holy shit, man, your response time is insane. And I'm like, yeah, because I make that a priority. Because
Oh, I thought you said because I put the default of Luna.
I put that.
I made mine faster.
You're not
I
really
don't have to
talking
wait no
me.
10
No, I'm just
minutes.
kidding.
My
It is
default
me.
on Luna's 32 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. 32 seconds. Reply every time. But yeah, no, it's I get accused of being AI often because the way I reply to messages. But for me, I know that frustration of maybe it comes from growing up, like 80s, 90s. You wait on hold. There's nothing fucking worse than waiting on hold. Oh my god! And then they try to soften the blow with hold music, and it just got worse. And it was like, oh god, like why is
Best
my life
feature
like
now
this?
is, do you want us to call you back and we'll hold your place in line?
100%. Oh my god. Yeah, it's like fuck yeah every time. And you know what? That right there is indicative of the fact that having someone like Luna to just answer that question right away. Because a big feature people ask for initially with OrbisX, which exists, but after hours auto reply to let people know, hey, it's after hours. Sorry, we'll get back to you in the morning. That's great, unless hey, this is the only time I have to talk, and I really want some fucking answers. You know what I mean? So that's reason alone right there.
You're on the internet.
$25 a month.
The
Yeah, yeah.
internet never sleeps.
Never sleeps. Never sleeps. Yeah. It's
Sorry,
crazy.
we're sleeping.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
bother us.
Don't bother us. Our printing shop, we get during the day. I think we looked at the averages the other day. It was like 34 calls a day on average. After 5 o'clock, it was 80% of the calls. During the day, almost no calls. Tons of emails, but during the day, not many calls. People are busy. They're doing shit. They're working. They're this. They're that. Not too many calls. After hours, oh my god, people just calling. It's crazy. I think Mondays, we looked, and Mondays were our busiest day. I don't know why Mondays in particular yet, but Mondays were our busiest day. We get on average after 6 p.m. 80 calls. After 6 p.m. They know we're closed. We close at 5. Call. And the voicemails are like, oh, I know you're closed, but I was hoping maybe someone would answer the call. It's brutal. But they get a text reply back. They start a text chain. Someone starts messaging them. Life is good. They can still place an order. But imagine we didn't have that in place. So you got to think. I don't even have OrbisX for my print shop, which I wish. And you know what? Maybe I'll look into that actually. But the print shop might be a little more specific. However, if you have a detail shop, signing up for the virtual assistant is going to help your business out tremendously. You can add it to your website right now, add it to your booking form, but then you can also now you'll be able to have the ability to have Luna text back your customer as well, which is hugely important. Gets a lot more shit done for you, takes it off your plate, keeps the customer happy and engaged, and that way you can follow up and close those deals if Luna hasn't already done so for you. Absolutely, man. We gave a lot of tips out this time. That was a serious bouquet. Yeah. And jeez, I'm spent. I have more, but I'll hold them for next week.
Good idea.
It's time to pace myself. Yeah.
Patience, Sean. Patience.
Yeah, Absolutely. Well, Marshall, appreciate you as always, guys. Stay tuned for more. And remember the contest. Speaking of contest, if anybody knows the name of the movie and then also the actress or actor, I won't say who said it, then there's 2 prizes up for grabs. So we will see what's up. We'll talk soon. All right. Appreciate you as always. Cheers.